I think you know what I mean.
Well, great, Nostalgia Critic. The entire costume party was ruined. I thought we agreed that you were going to be Darth Vader and I was going to be the shadowy puppet master Dark Overlord that controls you, just like in real life. Nostalgia Critic.
Nostalgia Critic, can you hear me?
Yes, my brother. I apologize. I passed out after I thought I heard news that there was another animated Titanic movie.
Oh, but I'm afraid in your rage you have forgotten that there is another Titanic movie, and it is your job to review it.
It can't be. I reviewed it already.
Yes.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, it appears there's another feature-length ripoff of James Cameron's Titanic. I can't believe I live in a world where two of these exist. And you think that'd be bad enough. But if you can possibly comprehend this, it is actually worse than the other version. Yes, there is actually something out there worse than this.
Party time, everybody's feeling fine 'cause it's party time.
I know it's hard to believe, but this actually is more terrible than the rapping dog. So, what abomination of hell could possibly make it into the human world? Let's find out. So, strangely enough, this version also focuses on talking mice that snuck aboard the Titanic. I mean, somebody actually found it necessary to rip off the rip-off! Did you even see that? You want to rip off this? Moving on! It turns out that an old sailor mouse is telling his grandkids what really happened the day the Titanic sunk.
Tragic ending to the maiden voyage of the Titanic. 100 missing. A lot of people died, huh?
The truth of the matter is that those missing persons were never really missing. It's a long and complicated story.
Really? So that's how you're starting this movie out, by saying the hundreds of people that died on the Titanic didn't really die on the Titanic.
It's all a misunderstanding. One of these days I'll tell you the whole story.
Yeah, bring it in.
All right, youngsters, you've talked me into it. I'll tell you the whole story.
Yes, please do! My curiosity for this story that involves everyone surviving one of the biggest disasters in the world, it's really quite peaked.
It all began long ago in England.
So of course, we go into a flashback that shows Grandpa as a much younger mouse who was a sailor on the Titanic. But hey, if having a flashback isn't similar enough to that other film, what do you say we have an exact shot replica for the reveal of our leading lady?
Magnificent. Simply breathtaking.
This is Elizabeth. She's excited to be on Titanic except for one tiny little detail. She has to marry a man that she doesn't love. Yeah! Sound familiar? Though to be fair, even though Billy Zane was basically a cartoony bad guy, they at least tried to make him look like a civilized gentleman. Here, they just slapped on an eye patch, an evil mustache, and anything else that would make him look like a James Bond villain. That or the boss from Harvey Birdman.
I'd rather die than marry that horrifying, disgusting old serpent.
Elizabeth, don't be impertinent. You have a position to keep up. Your stepmother and I simply want what's best for our little girl.
And if we say that the best for you is the worst for you, then it's the best for you. But at least the stuff with the cute little talking mice will be fun, right? Wrong. All these mice do throughout most of the movies talk about ship protocol. Yeah, ship protocol. Isn't that exciting?
We'll have the roll call, if you please.
Aye, aye, sir. Mr. and Mrs. Angus Wallace Bruce McMouse. Mr. and Mrs. Porrig Liam O'Rat and 2 children, Juan and Evita Raton with offspring, Jean-Luc and Francois Ratatouille, and the Mousetti family from Sicily, featuring Parmigiano, Pecorino, Gorgonzola, Provolone, Fontina, Caciocavallo, Ricotta, Mozzarella, Herr Heinrich and Frau Greta from Mauskaiser with adjunct Shlomo and Becky Boydsil, and the Silva Pereira Kenzo family from Recife with 2 children, Ronnie and Estrella.
Let's look lively now with the boarding procedures.
So we go up that rope, is that it?
It's a right idea, but you have to learn sailor talk. Only landlubbers call that a rope. To us, it's an hawser.
Hey, remember when we used to just sneak aboard and eat? Can we go back to those days? So Elizabeth comes across a group of gypsies led by Tuxedo Mask here, who tells his dog to try and get Elizabeth's attention.
Come here, boy. Good boy. What a lovely soft coat you have. There, that's better, isn't it?
You idiot! I told you to get her necklace! What kind of stupid mutt are you? Well, you suddenly got creepy.
I'm very sorry, sir, but the animal must be kept on a leash. My good man, you happen to be addressing Don Juan Tenorio de Ariarte Gonzalez Leon.
Who goes around with 6 names?
Prince of Andalusia, but Prince does not travel with animals, you imbecile!
Oh, and I have to add Prince to that too? Yeah, I'm calling him Joe.
Now step aside and let us board.
So, even though they established the dog has no owner, the dog is still allowed on anyway. Oh, wait, after he pees on him first.
Oh, you wretched beast, I'll get you for that!
Oh, it's not like I can just go up there and get you for that. I'll just throw my hat. That'll teach you. No, it landed on the dog. I guess there's nothing else it really would have done. Oh, now I hate my hat. I hate my hat so much. Oh, my motivations are so confusing. So after leaving the town of genetic clones, I'm not kidding, look! We see our villain, named Maltravers, talk about his plans as a whaler.
There's no reason whatsoever why the Duke shouldn't grant me exclusive worldwide whaling rights.
Not to mention the hand of his darling daughter. By marrying her, you'll get your mitts on all of his money.
Exposition.
You hit the nail on the head. There's nothing in the world that counts besides money and power. Everything else is simply there to be used to achieve those objectives.
I think we just saw the meeting for how this movie got greenlighted. So we get one of those phoned-in CGI shots of the ship as the captain discusses what he's gonna do for the evening.
There's only one thing worse than a party, and that's a gala evening. Mr. Craig, have me called for any problem whatsoever, and if there aren't any, make one up.
Oh, you mean like iceberg right ahead? Yes, that's a good one.
Hurry up, Ronnie, we're late.
Oh good, our mousy friends got away from the rest of the team. I guess that means there's not gonna be any more ship protocol.
Men are greedy and all too likely to cheat on construction and materials. So for the first few days, be careful how you move about.
Yeah, whatever. Sing There's No Cats in America.
But there are no cats in America, and the streets are paved with trees.
But eventually they do get away from the group, and they see what's going on in the first-class quarters.
She's as beautiful as a picture and as fiery as the fish out of Carioca. I'll see her in my dreams for the rest of my life.
I hate to be a spoil sport, but I would like to draw to your attention the fact that she's a woman and you're a mouse.
Well, there's one thing I'm not, and that's a racist.
What?
Well, there's one thing I'm not, and that's a racist.
Did we really just take a situation with 2 mice, a young woman, and somehow come out with racism? How do you do that? First of all, it's not racism as much as speciesism. Second, why is he fantasizing about a human female? Let's keep the oddness to a minimum. Oh, I spoke too soon. Just when you thought things couldn't get any weirder, things couldn't possibly get more up, take a gander at this.
What's her name? Oh, I don't believe it. I can understand them.
You can understand us thanks to a net of magic moonbeams that caught your tears as they fell into the water. magic of our own, and voila! The spell was cast.
Pardon? Okay, am I dreaming this? I really must be dreaming this. I really can't comprehend this at all. At all. I mean, okay, we now have magic dolphins who apparently can fly because, well, how the hell else are they staying up there so long? Who can suddenly talk to her because her rainbow bright tears caused some moonbeam and now everything's coming up Dr. Doolittle. But sure, why not? Okay, you can talk to dolphins now, arguably one of the most intelligent creatures on the entire planet. So what exactly are you gonna say to them?
If I could turn into a dolphin like you, that would make me happy.
That's great, young lady, that's great. You wish you were a dolphin, that's wonderful. What the am I watching? Okay, for the sake of argument, let's say that you stayed in the theater after you saw this scene. What exactly are they gonna do with this revelation?
We're engaged in a desperate battle to save the lives of our friends, the whale. The Maltravas ships are hunting the poor things near to extinction.
I'm sorry, which story are we watching? The love story, the ship, the mice, the whales? What is the focus? You can't just throw this incredibly bizarre at us and just expect us to go along with it. I mean, it's like saying, hey, the Titanic wasn't destroyed by an iceberg, it was a evil gang of underwater sharks who are in cahoots with the evil whaler.
Hey, me and the boys are ready to go into action anytime you say, guy.
Ice, I have a message from the boss. Stay alert and don't stray too far from the ship.
Tell him we're ready to destroy anything, anytime.
I'm sorry, I need to drop something. You can't, you really, oh! I'm sorry, I can't get through this in one sitting. If you'll excuse me, I'm gonna take the occasional break to look at myself in the mirror and cry.